If you read between the lines, there are 3 success lessons in the story of the woman with the issue of blood. If you're unfamiliar with the story, it's found in all 3 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and it's about a woman with a bleeding issue for 12 years. She saw Jesus in a crowd and said to herself, if I could just touch his clothes, I would be healed. So she pushes through the crowd, touches his clothes, and Jesus tells her, your faith has healed you. Let's look at the 3 lessons. Success lesson number 1, fight for what you want. The woman with the issue of blood had to fight to be healed. She didn't wait for Jesus to notice her, or she didn't ask Jesus. No, she had to fight for it. The Bible says that there were so much people surrounding Jesus that they almost crushed him. And her thinking that if she just touched his clothes, she would be healed, meant that she had to push through the crowd in order to touch him. In the same way, sometimes we believers have to fight for what we want in life. Just like the woman with the issue of blood, there might be people between us and our blessing. Oftentimes we think that just because there's a struggle or a difficulty in trying to achieve something, that it must be not God's will. But that's not necessarily the case. Think of the Israelites, and when God was giving them the promised land, he said, here's the land I'm giving you. You essentially just have to go and fight the people that are in it to take it. And most of them didn't believe. And so what? They ended up wandering in the desert for 40 years. So just like the woman with the issue of blood, oftentimes we just need to move in faith. Yes, it's necessary to pray sometimes. Yes, it's necessary to wait on God's timing. But I find that maybe a lot of times we just are afraid to start moving in faith. So remember, Jesus told the lady, your faith has healed you. So what will your faith do for you? Success lesson number 2. Being intentional makes a difference. Remember, I said there was so much people surrounding Jesus, so much so that they almost crushed him. And when the woman with the issue of blood touched Jesus, he asked, who touched me? It was confusing. The disciples asked him, what do you mean, who touched you? Like, there's so much people pressing up against you. But he said he felt the power leave him. Unlike everybody else, the woman with the issue of blood touched Jesus intentionally. And because of that, she was healed. Just like being intentional made a difference with the woman with the issue of blood, being intentional also makes a difference in other areas of life. Remember, the woman had a goal to be healed. She had spent all of her money trying to. So never forgetting her goal, when she saw Jesus, she just took advantage of the opportunity. And that's what a goal does for us. It helps us to focus. It helps us to spot any opportunity that can help us to achieve that goal. And we start to make decisions in alignment with the thing that we want to achieve. If you think about the opposite, when you don't have a goal, you just expend energy and time not really achieving anything specific. So just like the woman with the issue of blood was intentional in touching Jesus because she had the goal of being healed, we should all have goals in order to be intentional so that it makes a difference for us in life. The third success lesson, you've probably heard it before, but there's a key reason why it works that you probably haven't heard. What's the lesson? If you fail, try again. The woman with the issue of blood, all the Gospels mention how long she had been suffering. She had spent all of her money on doctors trying to be healed. So it comes as no surprise that she tries again with Jesus. She was never discouraged. And because of that, she spotted another opportunity and she took advantage of it and got what she wanted. She was persistent. Just like the woman kept trying again, we should try again when we fail. You know, failure doesn't necessarily mean that the thing we are trying to achieve is impossible or it's not God's will. It could just mean that we have bad timing or could be going about it the wrong way. What's important to do is to keep the faith and keep trying again. And by try again, I mean try something different. The woman with the issue of blood had tried doctors, so she knew that traditional means would not work. Learning a lesson from those failures, she tried Jesus and was healed. If she didn't try the doctors previously, she might have had an opportunity to try Jesus, but say to herself that she would try a doctor first because it would be more private. You know, it's like when we're in church and we have an opportunity to go up to be prayed for. If we haven't tried other means first, we probably would say we would try those just so we don't get the attention. Yes, that's the thing about failures. They teach us what don't work, and so it pushes us closer to the thing that does work. So, have you given up on something because you failed a lot? Why not try again? Like the woman with the issue of blood, now that you know what doesn't work, you could just be one reach away from the thing that does. If you made it this far, give this video a like and comment. I'm never giving up. Remember the lessons. Fight for what you want. Being intentional makes a difference. And if you fail, try again. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.